Welcome to Off-Road America. On today's episode, we're going to see if our Ram Power Wagon can survive these tight forest trails. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous. We knew the trail we wanted to tackle, and we've been planning this trip for months, but we weren't sure if we should. We even had a stranger approach us at the trailhead, and he looks over at the truck and says, "You taking that on this trail?" We both tentatively said, "Yeah." He just looks at us and says, "I wouldn't." He actually turned out to be a great guy who helped spot us through the first obstacle, the Gatekeeper. Hold on, parking sensors are going crazy. They're mad at me. We've been researching trails for months near my parents' cabin looking for a real challenge. We didn't want to bring the kids along on what we knew would be a long day, so we chose one close by so my mom could watch them. Going solo isn't always ideal, so we let friends and family know where we were going, packed essential supplies, and even brought a satellite emergency communicator in case there was trouble.
Keep your angle. Okay, driver. Nice and easy. You're gonna, there you go. Now start to straighten. There you go. Let me check the back. All right, just stay that course. You're coming up on this back end a little bit. Slow, slow, slow. There you go. Okay, now start going passenger. You're good.
That's Gatekeeper.
Yes.
Wow. Right then, we were both questioning if this was the right decision, but that's why we bought this truck, to take it on challenging trails, and we wanted to see what it could do. We'd conquered many trails before with ease, but weren't sure where the truck's limits were. We had to find out. We'd walked the first part of the trail the day before and believed that if we took our time and worked together, we could get through without major damage. As my wife and I approached what we thought was the trail's most challenging obstacle, even tougher than the Gatekeeper, things got real.
Yeah. Woo!
Hold on, don't celebrate yet. That's just a slider, right?
Yep, just the slider. Just the slider. Okay.
Got it?
I think so. Oh! The slider ends.
Okay, hold on.
It's bad.
It's okay.
Yeah, I might need a. Oh, there you go. There you go. Now you moved over enough to get up. Oh, what did it get you on? Hold on. Stop.
We were climbing the obstacle when, crunch, the bed of the truck got smashed in. My wife, who's used to spotting the Jeep, thought we were clear, but in the moment we both forgot that the factory rock sliders don't extend all the way to the bed's end. It had been on my to-do list a reminder, but I figured it'd be fine. We were both bummed, but we've been in spots like this before. No one got mad. We stayed focused, worked together, and pushed through. That ain't the worst. Really ain't that bad. Okay.
Okay, we need to get up to clear that. We just need like this much.
All right, here we go. Let's stack some rocks.
Yeah, there, you're over it now with your dip. You're clear. Yeah. Woo.
All right, guys. Whew, that was tough. We had to stack a few rocks. Remember, if you stack rocks, we're gonna spend some time getting these cleaned up. If you stack rocks on the trail, you gotta move them off the trail. The idea is not to make the trail way easier for everybody and ruin it. So once you stack rocks, always get them out of the way. Leave it for the next person, because if they're on this trail, they're probably looking for a challenge. So we're gonna get this cleaned up and then we'll get going on the trail. Excited as we were to conquer that obstacle, neither one of us wanted to go back down it for fear of more damage, so it felt like there's no turning back now. A little later, we hit a wide spot in the trail we'd marked days ago, and we discussed turning back. My wife asked, "Are we sure?" But with the damage already done and knowing the trail's difficulty, it didn't make sense. From our walkthrough, we knew if we could just top those switchbacks, the trail would open up and ease off. So we aired down a little more and decided to press on. As we pressed on, the trail was even tougher than we'd imagined, even after walking it. The reality of positioning a truck this big on those tight switchbacks between trees was starting to sink in. There was no place to turn around until we made it to the top of the ridge. Lena, my wife, did an incredible job spotting us through those obstacles. I tried to place the truck exactly where she told me to.
Yep, just put driver right on that. You're good. Yep. All right, let's watch this little buddy.
At one point, we shared a quick glance, exhausted, but still determined. Honestly, if I would have been with anybody else without our shared trail experience, I'm not sure we'd have made it. It's moments like these that remind me how good of a team we are.
Yeah, there you go, good. Okay, now your tire's coming up.
Despite its size, the truck was blowing us away with its performance. Aired down, it stayed planted, flexed perfectly, and did everything we asked. Up the ridgeline, we got blessed with incredible forest views. It started feeling like a dance along the rocks. A dance with a larger gorilla, but a dance nonetheless. Sure, we were saddened by the body damage, but seeing what our Power Wagon, which we've named Pinstripe, could do was amazing. We crested what we'd marked as the end of the hard part years ago in our Jeep, but memory can be foggy. Then, despite checking the weather forecast that morning, thunder cracked and a light drizzle hit. With a water crossing up ahead and knowing the trail was going to open up and become easier, we got moving. The light rain turned into a downpour, and the trail went from a brief, easy teaser at the summit to way more challenging. As visibility turned to zero as the rain poured down, we stopped filming through the worst of it. It was simply too risky with the mud and the slipperiness. We needed all of our attention and focus on the trail. The trail felt endless. We were getting more adventure than we'd bargained for. I kept expecting it to turn into a dirt road and ease up, but it was the trail that just kept giving. The scariest and funniest part in hindsight was my wife goes, "Mike, something's leaking from the truck." So I jump out and I run out over there, and we'd just hit a big rock on the gas tank, and I just see fluid just pouring out. And I stick my hands under there and I smell it, nothing. I do it again, I smell it, nothing. And then I calm down a little bit and I start looking, and there was water running along the top edge of the bed, down onto the gas tank, and then right off where we had just hit the rock. Funny in hindsight, but heart-stopping at the moment. After the scare, we paused and realized soloing a trail this tough wasn't ideal. Even though we were prepared, hiking 4 miles out or staying overnight would not have been ideal. We don't recommend it. Even with our experience, the bad weather turned it into a real mental and physical grind. Finally, after hours in that boulder field, the rain eased and the trail widened, and my wife didn't have to spot constantly. We hit an opening with an amazing water crossing and remembered having lunch there years ago with our friends in our Jeep. Knowing the trail ahead would be more scenic and easier, and knowing there was more behind us than in front of us, gave us a sense of relief and momentum. I'm gonna ride that. That was loud.
Some of these noises are not ideal.
The guides online say this isn't a full-size trail, and I would agree. We've taken this thing on a lot of really difficult trails, but they've typically been at home in Utah, and there's not so many boulders. It's more like climbs or things like that. But this is just like somebody took a bunch of round boulders and dropped them in the middle of the trail all the way down. Sometimes the hardest part of a trail isn't some big named obstacle that everybody puts all over YouTube and all videos and things like that. It's one little rock that's sitting in the middle of the trail that just for your wheelbase or your rig is a big challenge. And I think that's really what we're dealing with here, is some of the things that are being a challenge for us simply aren't something anybody would talk about on a guide or anything else, because it's just that, oh, for that wheelbase, that length, and the width of your vehicle, you lean up on that one rock and you just spent 30 minutes getting through that section. Just beautiful out here though right now. If we could get a little bit of relief, or we could peel our eyes back from the trail.
Yeah, let it open up a bit, give us a break from the boulder fields.
Yeah, we could get a 15-minute break from the boulder fields.
Be nice to catch our breath.
We could catch our breath, our blood pressure would come down, and we could enjoy the view a little bit. I mean, we've been sway bar disconnected, front and rear lockers all day long. All day long.
Yeah.
I think one other incident we did have is I'm gonna have to get my rear drive shaft rebounced. We shaved the weight off it. If that was ours. Was it
I
ours?
think so. That rock was empty before and had a little present on it after.
Okay. Challenges lingered, including another deep water crossing. But we were comfortable with the truck's limits. Sections we would have stacked rocks for earlier, we drove right through. It kept amazing us. God.
Got whacked by a few branches today.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason we call this truck Pinstripe. But usually that's from the desert, and we don't mind pinstripes. They're not our favorite thing, but we don't mind them. But the trees in the Sierra Nevada don't leave pinstripes. They leave dents.
Yeah, we want to avoid them at all costs.
Yeah. We've been trying to explain to the forest that the truck's name is Pinstripe, not Denty. I would say Deer Valley, it's rated a 7, and it's every bit a 7. I would not want to do it again without a Jeep that the tires stick out from the body.
That would have been helpful.
Yeah, and front and rear lockers on your Jeep. There's just some of these climbs going up, especially like today we hit that, it started raining on us, and I mean, without a front locker, we would have been winching all day long.
Yeah, we haven't busted out the winch this whole trail.
We have not had to winch out. Knock on wood, cross
Right.
fingers,
Everything.
cross toes. But with fatigue and overconfidence creeping in, we slipped off a seemingly easy obstacle. Then the skies opened with hail, and the trail that keeps giving struck again. A mere 300 yards from the end was our biggest test. It's hailing, yeah. And we just slid off and dropped on a rock. So I need to get out and take a look and see exactly what we got going on for a minute. You go ahead and sit in here.
I have a feeling we're actually gonna use the winch that I said we haven't had to use yet. The slick water just had us slid right off that rock.
There's no way without winching. We slid back and landed on the front dip, and that's now in above it. So I'm gonna get a tree strap. We'll run it up to this one. Get the controller out of there.
I'll give him a few minutes to get organized before I get out.
Staying calm because winching can be dangerous, we pulled out line, hooked it to a tree, and pulled once. It wasn't enough, so we extended the line to a second tree and pulled again. So with the hail pounding and the winch line straining, we finally get unstuck. Knowing that we worked together and used the right tools felt incredible. Yeah, we jinxed ourselves in 2 ways. We said, oh, we haven't used the winch yet. We haven't had to use the winch. That got us, and that was just, it started raining hard and it was slick, and just had that momentary lapse in concentration and slid off and dropped on the diff. Winch definitely saved our bacon there, because we fell off and that rock was behind the front diff and we were sitting right on the rear one. There was no way out, not with it raining like that. There was nowhere to go. We tried giving it gas and it just dug a mud hole.
Yeah, we were just burying ourselves.
Yeah, it's just, there's no traction. We just basically drug ourselves off it. Looking back, I do think the trail was just too tight for a truck our size. I'm not proud of the damage we did to it, but it could have been much worse. We pulled through with some amazing teamwork, and that I am really proud of. We not only learned what Pinstripe's truly capable of, but what we're capable of too. I'm especially proud of how well we worked together and how calm we stayed on what turned out to be our toughest day on the trail ever.